crucial roles in turning dream into a reality. Tushar, with his expertise as the product manager, has ensured that Dhriti is a user-friendly and innovative platform. Kinjal, as the operations manager, has made sure that every detail runs smoothly, ensuring seamless execution. Together, their teamwork and dedication have shaped Drifty into the platform it is today. Our mission is very simple to make learning easy, fun, and accessible to everyone. Brace yourself to take your learning beyond the classroom. Riti is a Sanskrit word that means steadfastness, patience, perseverance, or courage. It refers to the quality of being determined and resolute, especially in challenging situations. Staying true to the meaning, I'm honored to introduce the man who is a living example of perseverance, wisdom, and resilience, Mr. Vivek Atray. His journey from civil services to shaping mind exemplifies the very essence of Dhriti. As he continues to guide and empower others with patience, strength, and an indomitable spirit. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome and the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here. I see a lot of people on the call already, and I think it's a great beginning for you. So, my congratulations to Dhriti and all the team and all the hard work that you've been doing. And I saw some posts where one of you had mentioned that you were probably in the audience one day and where I spoke, and now today you are on the webinar with me. So this is what I do nowadays. As you all know, I resigned from the IAS in 2017, and you will ask me later why I resigned, and I'll definitely answer. But one of the reasons is to travel and speak, and also online to students across India and to young people across India who are basically looking forward to a great career. And that great career is sometimes confusing and it is not going as per plan. So life doesn't go according to plan, and we have to find that success within. That is what I'll talk about. And of course, we talk about UPSC and we talk about civil services, which is what you really like to talk about. But we will talk about life first. Why are we all here? What are we doing here? Not on this webinar. I know what we're doing on the webinar. What are we doing in life? What are we doing as a bigger picture? Where is the purpose? Where is the goal? Many of you have heard my podcast with Ranveer. So I often, whenever somebody says, "Sir, I saw your podcast with Ranveer Alabadia," so I say, "Have you watched any other videos or only one?" Then they say, "Sir, I'll watch one more." So you can all watch at least one or two more on my channel. What I talk about mainly is to avoid overthinking, to be compassionate, to be balanced, to be constructive, courageous, to be cheerful, and to look at the bigger picture of life, which is to find that true happiness within. Now, all our battles are fought within the mind. I was watching Saurav Ganguly, former captain of India, and we have a very good captain in Rohit Sharma today, and Surya Kumar Yadav is a 2020 captain now. They're all positive people. So Saurav Ganguly said that he met Desmond Haynes. You may not know Desmond Haynes, but he was a great West Indian cricketer. And Saurav Ganguly was starting out in 96. And Desmond Haynes was already a big player of the West Indies. And he's met him. He said, "Desmond, how do you remain so consistent in life, in your game? How do you find that quality, that level every day of your career?" So Desmond told him that when I sleep at night, I think about the next day that I am going to be very positive and very successful. If I think of failure, if I think of negativity, then I find that the next day is very difficult. So he says it is our thoughts that make our success happen, and it is our thoughts that make our failures happen. Now, coming to the point, you have just heard a quote of mine which was about failure. And UPSC is an exam which is not an evaluation of your intelligence. It is a competitive exam. It is a competitive exam where you're competing against lakhs of others. So in that competition, sometimes even the best may not succeed. You watched the Olympics recently, and Olympic Games gave us a glimpse into how difficult it is to reach that gold medal. Even someone like Neeraj Chopra, who was tipped to be the gold medalist, lost to Nadeem of Pakistan because Neeraj Chopra was below his best. Although he too hurled a good throw, but that got him the silver medal. But he needed to be at his very best that day, beyond his best. So we may not be at our best on the day of the exam. We may be at our best 1 week before the exam. We are human after all. So competition is very unpredictable and it is not always according to plan. Many people who succeed in the UPSC exam and join the civil services, I can tell you, they didn't expect to be there. They thought that they may not make it. So there was this story. Let me start with a story. I don't know if all of you are Hindi speaking. I'll use some Hindi also in the middle. So there were these two officers. They were not officers at that time, they were aspirants. One of them was appearing for the third time. The other one was appearing for the first time in the UPSC exam. So the one who was appearing for the first time, he was thinking that this person did not make it twice. How will he make it the third time? And the person who was appearing for the third time was thinking about the other person. This person is appearing for the first time. He certainly won't make it. They didn't tell each other these thoughts. Both of them got through the UPSC exam and cleared and joined the IAS that very year together. One on the third attempt, one on the first attempt. And later, many years later, or perhaps after joining, they told each other their thoughts. Now, the point, these are real officers. I'm telling you a true example. I won't name them, but I know them, both of them. Now, the thing is that life doesn't go according to plan, but that doesn't mean that we can sit and just wait for life to happen. We have to work hard, no doubt. We have to focus, no doubt. We have to have a goal in mind, no doubt. If that goal doesn't come, then we cannot sit back and think that, okay, life did not treat me well, so now I'm just finished. It's not like that. There is so much unpredictability. I mean, if you look at romance and marriage, you're all young people. We don't know who we are going to get married to until we do. And we don't know how that marriage is going to go. So life is full of uncertainty and we must accept that. That is my first point to you today. You accept that and you work on the controllables. What are the controllables? We can't work on the uncontrollables. The controllables are your own behavior, your own attitude, your own courage, your own preparation for life, your skills, your qualities, your calmness, your creativity, your knowledge. All these things are controllables to an extent. Of course, we may be moody, one day feeling low, other day feeling better, but we can even control our moods to an extent. So what I'm trying to say to you is you work on your inner self. And working on your inner self will make you successful in some way or the other. It may not be in the way you planned. It may be in another way. We all know the example of Amitabh Bachchan. Now, Amitabh Bachchan, and I was lucky enough to talk to him online on KBC. I came in Phone a Friend. And don't ask me whether I knew the question or not, but I came in Phone a Friend and I talked to Mr. Bachchan. I gave him a compliment and he said something like, Vivek ji, chhodiye, ab aap inse baat kariye. You know how he is. So, Amitabh Bachchan was rejected by All India Radio when he was a youngster. They said, your voice is not good enough. Now, if Amitabh Bachchan's voice is not good enough, then my voice is not good enough, your voices are not good enough. His voice is the best. They said, your voice is not good enough. Hindustan Lever rejected him that you won't be successful in our company. You can't join our company. Then Bollywood producers rejected him for being too tall. We can't have such a tall hero in our movies. You're too tall, you have long legs, can't be. Too thin. So he was rejected by everyone. He was rejected, but he was not dejected. He did not collapse. He did not feel low for more than maybe 1 or 2 days. It's okay to feel low for 1 or 2 days when things don't go according to plan. Not for 1 year, right? How long will you feel low about something that happened 1 year ago? You have to get over it. My second book, I have 4 books. My fourth one is Finding Success Within. My second one is Dubeji Bounces Back. And Dubey is a young boy, Raghav Dubey, but nickname is Dubeji. And he bounces back from tough times. We have to bounce back in life, like Amitabh Bachchan. He became a super icon, superhero. He became a superstar who is still going strong at the age of 80 plus. And that too through KBC, of course. But still acting in movies. We have to have some role models and keep motoring on. Now, let's talk about the civil services exam for a minute. Many of you are aspirants of the civil services. Now, I joined the Haryana Civil Service and I was promoted to the IAS. 1/3 of all officers of India, they are promoted from the state civil service, IAS officers. IPS officers are promoted from the state police service, 1/3. And all these officers who are promoted are just as good as those who are coming in the direct UPSC exam. They are experienced by then, they are capable, many of them are excellent. So it doesn't matter what route you take to reach the pinnacle. Many of you who are appearing for the UPSC exam will do well to appear for the state civil service also. Don't consider yourself to be a topper of Delhi University or whatever it is. And then you think, I will only appear for UPSC. If I get Indian Foreign Service, I'm fine. I won't accept anything else. You can't be like that. You cannot be like that. You have to be prepared to be holding your options. And many people ask me Plan B, that Ranveer podcast, Raj Shamani, etc. We can name them because they're in public. That podcast, which is Raj Shamani. So, I mean, I answered the question. Plan B has to be there. And Plan C also has to be there. Because if life doesn't go according to plan, then we have to have options. State civil service is a good option. Because firstly, you will remain in your state. If you're from Haryana, you will get the Haryana civil service, most likely. You can also appear for Rajasthan, there's no problem. Likely you will be in your own state. And you'll get promoted to the IAS also in your own state. You'll get the state cadre which you are from. Whereas if you are an IAS topper, unless you're a topper, you may get a state which is far, far away, which is great for national integration. A Tamil Nadu officer, Tamil Nadu resident coming as an IAS officer in Haryana cadre, a Punjab cadre officer going to Kerala for life, 35 years, 33 years, is a great thing for national integration. But if you look at people from the state civil services, they stay in their own state, which is a blessing for the parents, etc. So now, if state civil service also doesn't help you, or you're not able to get through, then there are other services options. Many people, I spoke to the SBI professionals. SBI has bright people joining every year. I speak to them many times at the training centers. And I asked them, and many of them were UPSC aspirants, and they are now in the SBI. You have to accept what comes your way and be grateful for what you have. All of you wanted to go to a particular college. Everybody doesn't get their favorite college also. And that college did not come, some other college came in your life. But this college is not bad. The fact that you have a college to go to, an admission in a good college or a good enough college, is good enough. By the way, on the lighter side, if I ask you a quiz question, whose husband's name is good enough? I'm sure you know the answer. And if you don't know the answer, I can tell you it is Preeti Zinta. Her husband's surname is good enough. His name is good enough. Yeah. His real name, his surname is good enough. So Preeti Zinta's surname is now good enough as well. Anyway, on the lighter side. But if you look at the fact that you or anyone else is in a particular college, you should accept that and be happy with it. And then go from there. Have gratitude for what you have, where you have reached in life. And then you aspire for the best. But then you have a plan B and plan C. This is something I wanted to tell you. So I'm going to also pause here to tell you a couple of stories. But before that, let me say that it is now 8:22 p.m. What I'm going to do is to speak for another 15 minutes. And then I would like some questions to come. And those questions I can take up for a while. And then if there is more time, then I'll speak again, because that will make it more interactive. Okay, I see about 100 people there, and these 100 people can ask some questions. It will be nice to hear from you. Okay, now the first story that I want to tell you is about my career, because you have called me. So obviously, it is my job to inspire you. And I was the Deputy Commissioner of Panchkula. I was in the State Civil Service, got promoted to IAS. My first posting in IAS was MD Hatron, Managing Director of the Haryana Electronics Corporation, because I was an engineer. I am an engineer by training from NIT Kurukshetra. So maybe they wanted me to do something about IT. In Haryana, I was earlier Director IT of Chandigarh as an HCS officer. And as an IAS officer, MD Hatron, Director Industries and Deputy Commissioner Panchkula, before I resigned. Now, as DC Panchkula, I started something called Adar Samman, which is respect for the elderly. Now, Adar Samman was a program where elderly people who came to government offices would not have to wait in the line. They will be made to sit down. One youngster from the office will help them fill up the form. They will be asked for a cup of tea, glass of water, whatever they want. They will not be having to run around here and there or whatever, move around here and there. All those above, let's say, the age of 70 were given that comfort. And that other Samman was also spread to non-government offices, banks, other corporations which were not under my control. They also accepted it. And the whole of the district started respecting the elderly a little more. We also started personal counseling for the elderly, how you handle old age, how you handle losing your life partner at some stage of life. We also started legal counseling for them. Sometimes the sons and daughters of the elderly people, they property matters are not handled very well by them properly. So as DC, I was very tough on people who were mistreating the elders. And the elders have to be respected. So legal counseling, financial counseling, and personal counseling. And then that respect in the government offices. So this is something which as DC I was able to start. It is something to inspire you. Basically, elderly people need that respect. All of you, one day we are all going to be elderly. And we cannot think that we will be 20 forever. So we have to understand that. And even if it's far away, we need to respect them and learn from them. All they want is to have somebody talking to them or listening to them or sitting with them. And if your nani, nana and your dada, dadi or whoever, they are wanting your company, then give them your company. Now, the next point I want to tell you is, please work on your inner confidence. See, fear and worry is a normal thing. But overthinking is not normal. Everybody is overthinking today. And this overthinking is coming from social media. It's coming because we compare ourselves with others. We see people like Hrithik Roshan. No, nobody can look like Hrithik Roshan. He has got the looks which God has given him. Everybody can't look like Hrithik Roshan. In one recent podcast, somebody asked me, he says, sir, practical whatever baat bataiye. I said, practical baat ye hai that you're a youngster, you're dreaming of marrying Miss Universe. Nahi hoga. Nahi ho payega. So don't dream of that. So we have to be practical in life. You work hard towards your whatever you want to do, but you accept what comes your way. So don't overthink. Overthinking means I'm thinking, what if this happens? What if this doesn't happen? My interview is coming. What if I don't succeed? What if I don't succeed? No, if I'm thinking, what if I don't succeed? Then you know the book, The Secret. There's a book, The Secret, and it is about the law of attraction. You know the movie also, Secret. The law of attraction says whatever you think will come true. So if I keep thinking that my bill will be very high this time, my bill is going to be pakka very high bill I'm going to get, then you will get a high bill. If you think that tomorrow there's a cricket match, what if I get out in the first over? You will be out in the first over. You see, a lot of things depend on our actions, but a lot of things depend on our thoughts. And therefore, Nandita has raised her hand, but yes, Nandita will ask you to ask the question in a little while, okay? So, what we are doing is that we have to think positively. My interview is coming, I'll do my best. Just 1 minute, let me talk about interviews because all of you are youngsters and you're going to go to interviews or you're going to interviews. I do a lot of interviews and I do a lot of mock interviews also. Nowadays, I become senior, so I even interview principals. So I never thought I'm going to interview principals for the post of principal. I tell them when they come that I was very scared of principals when I was in school, college. And now I'm interviewing principals. So it feels a bit embarrassing also. And recently I went to Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, Delhi to speak to principals, school principals, 90 of them, 80 of them in each event. And I was talking to them, and again, I was saying that I'm feeling good that I am able to give a lecture to the principals. But the point is, they were very good, receptive audience, and they were very humble. So I was happy to meet them all. But interview is something where you have to go with calmness. You're appearing for an interview, whether it's a UPSC interview or it's a bank interview or it's a corporate interview or it's any interview. You have to go with calmness. You can't go with a restless mind. You can't appear with a worried mind. You can't appear with a disturbed kind of frame of mind. It is something that you must try and understand. So try and appear with a mindset which is positive, calm, and creative. So sleep well on the previous night. Don't be traveling the whole night to get to your interview place. 8 o'clock you reach that new city. 9 o'clock is your interview. This is not the way to live. When the important interview is there, be relaxed and rested. Do your studies and your preparation 24, 36, 48 hours before. Don't study at the last minute. Go fresh. You should be as fresh as a Himachal apple when you go inside the interview, okay? It's very important that you are fresh and fit when you go in. So of course, they won't eat you up like an apple is eaten up nowadays. But you have to go there with that fresh mindset, positive mindset. And also, you have to be at your best, not at your second best. Second best, you can be in the semi-finals, in the previous round, or in the practice round. You can't be at your second best on the day of the big interview. So go with a mindset that you can crack it, that you will be successful, and do your best and leave the rest. When they say let go, let God, what do they mean? They mean let go of the worry and let God take over. Let go, let God. It's only one D extra. So let God take over and let God handle. Once you have done your best, let the Almighty handle the results. It's not in your hands. Let me give you a story again. There was a youngster named Mr. Pedro. And although there are many types of Pedro jokes, but I'll tell you a very constructive one. So Pedro went for an interview. And he was late for the interview because he couldn't find a parking. He had borrowed a friend's car, and maybe this was in New York or some busy city. And because he couldn't find a parking, you can't leave the car on the road. It will be picked up by the police. The friend will be obviously very upset. So he couldn't leave the car anywhere. And he was getting late for the interview, circling around that building and not getting a parking. After 20 minutes of trying, he finally remembered God. So he looks up at the heavens and he says, God, please find me a parking. I will give up drinking from today. So this is a kind of agreement with God that you find me the parking for my interview to take place. and I will give up alcohol from today. But after a while, immediately when he thinks of God, he finds a parking. He parks the car and runs toward the interview, wanting to somehow catch the deadline. He's running towards the interview, but he remembers his promise to God. He says, God, I found the parking. Don't worry about my promise. Forget my promise. I found the parking. So this is the kind of person that many of us are. We forget God. We forget to thank people who should be thanked. And we are thankless. Instead of being thankless, you should become a grateful person. Grateful to those who help you. There is a saying that be kind to people on the way up in life, because you'll meet the same people on the way down. So please be kind to people who have been helpful to you, and even those who cannot help you. Now, the next point I want to talk about is how to avoid overthinking. 5 ways to avoid overthinking. Okay. This podcast of mine, these reels of mine are very popular. You may not have seen them, so I'll share them here. And I will try and tell you these 5 points here so that you can be more successful. When you want to find success in life, you have to back yourself. Who is going to be your best friend? You have to be your best friends. See, this is a motivational point. But the point is, you have to be your own best friend. If you are your greatest critic and not friend, then it doesn't work. You can, of course, to use a very literary word, you can admonish yourself for doing something wrong. But you don't need to go on admonishing yourself. You should try and back yourself, support yourself. Very important. So, the 5 ways to avoid overthinking. Number 1 is physical fitness. All you youngsters who are still playing sports and you think you will give up sports now, you have reached college or you will finish college, don't do that. Continue playing something or the other. Walking and running and gymming is also okay. It's fine. It's good. But sport is very good. Very, very good. Play one sport, definitely. Badminton, tennis, table tennis, cricket, football, or volleyball, whatever it is. Play a sport. Sports makes you physically and mentally balanced. Sports makes you understand that sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. In sports, we have victory and defeat, both. So cricket, for example, teaches us you can't be the same every day. I can't score centuries every day. I will score 0 also. So I have to realize that life is also like that. Sometimes it gives us the result we want. Sometimes it gives us a very, very scary result which you didn't want. So as a sports person, you will understand that. And sports releases happy hormones, which are very important for us. Number 2, and very important, is meditation. Meditation helps us to avoid overthinking. Even if while meditating we are thinking of negative thoughts or thoughts, still we must meditate. Nobody in the world has conquered their thoughts. Okay? Not even the biggest of saints and sants and gurus. They have not conquered their thoughts because they are human. The mind is ticking. And the mind is ticking is very difficult to conquer it. But you can calm it down. So if you meditate consistently, regularly, your mind will become more stable. Overthinking will reduce. And your heart will be more calm and better off if you start meditating. You will be healthier physically, mentally healthier, physically healthier if you are meditating. And spiritually healthier. The purpose of life to find God, meditation is the key. I follow Paramahansa Yogananda. You can follow any path, it's okay. You have to follow one path. Here is the photo of Autobiography of a Yogi, the book which he wrote. And that book I follow. This is my phone, but this is the book cover, Autobiography of a Yogi. I follow his teachings. And these are not religious teachings, they are spiritual. Spiritual teaching, find somebody and find a spiritual teacher. And his books, his lessons are of meditation are amazing. The third method of avoiding overthinking and being more successful is creativity. Music, art, sports, writing, poetry, stories, gardening, cooking, trekking, travel, whatever it is, some creativity has to be there. something away from the routine. I have a TEDx talk coming up. I can't tell you all the details, but it is basically about being away from the routine, being more creative. So being creative means that you have to be thinking differently, innovatively. And creative thinking will lead to happier lives. An artist is a little cool and calm. He may be a little serious at times, or she, but they are able to handle problems better because music is there, art is there, some creative thinking is there, poetry, stories, writing. It is beautiful. Number 4 is conversations. I don't know how many of you know, and it is a GK question also. Today is World Coffee Day, International Coffee Day. Although right now I'm having green tea coffee, but I had my 2 coffees today. So coffee day today, so you can have it tomorrow. And this is not cafe coffee day, this is International Coffee Day. Okay. It's an occasion on 1st October. So conversations with coffee, conversations with chai, conversations with whatever, without anything also. You have to be talking to people, listening to people, exchanging thoughts. Then your overthinking goes down. The more you talk to your mama, your papa, your friends, your sister, brother, you talk to your anybody, counselor, anybody. Talking is very important. Don't keep things within. Share. Even writing therapy is very good. Journaling, very good, excellent. Journaling is something, write down your thoughts, tear it up later, or even text and delete it later, but express your thoughts. Number 4 was conversation. Number 5 is reading. Reading. Reading what? Reading books which are away from your course. Course is important, but read storybooks, read romance, read poetry, read literature, read something which makes your heart sing, which makes you feel the wonder of life. These great authors who have written books 500 years ago, even now you have their thoughts in your mind, in your book, in your hand. And Yuval Noah Harari is the modern great author. You all know him. 21 Ideas for the 21st Century. And his latest book has also come out. So think of how you can read a little more. I go to many events. I find youngsters who are reading. I can make out immediately. I say, you seem to be reading a lot of books because of the way he or she is talking, the things they say. It is impressive. So reading books will make you a more impressive person. Plus, it will reduce your overthinking because reading is a very calming activity. Don't watch too many reels. You can watch motivational reels like mine, but don't watch too many reels, okay? And don't watch them into the night. Night, the mind is tired. So let the mind sleep. And reading books is better. You'll feel sleepy also while reading books. It's a good way to sleep also. Although you should read also. ये नहीं कि एक ही page पढ़ा or one line and you sleep. Then there's no point, huh? So read when you're fresh on a Sunday also. So these 5 ways I would like to add, and now I think I'm going to have some questions. So, but let me say here that by talking to each other, by exchanging ideas and thoughts like we are exchanging now, I'm talking more, but that's because I'm the speaker. But you are here to exchange ideas and thoughts. And by exchanging ideas and thoughts and questions, you are improving yourself, your confidence levels, your courage, your communication. And communication is very important. So everybody is not a speaker every day. Sometimes I used to feel that I won't be able to speak on this, but today I speak 5 days a week, somewhere or the other, and I enjoy it. Today in the morning I gave a speech at a government school, teachers of the government school. Today I'm speaking to you in the evening now. Tomorrow I'll have some other thing. Communication is the. So I hope I've been able to inspire you and tell you some good points. Let us please repeat third. Dhruti Singh, please repeat third. So quickly, I'll repeat all 5. Number 1 is physical fitness. Number 2 is meditation. Number 3 is creativity. Number 4 is conversations. And number 5 is reading. Okay? Shall we? Who is going to moderate the question? Anybody who can read out the questions?
Very well said, sir. Let's move to a more interactive round now. The platform is open to all. Feel free to ask anything.
You can type the question.
The comment section is open. You guys can write your question in the chat.
Yeah. You can write your questions in the chat and you can also ask them verbally if you want to. The organizers will unmute. Hindi, English, Punjabi, French, जिसमें भी पूछना पूछो.
So Ria Pandey has asked how to overcome failure.
Okay, so overcoming failure is not possible, Ria. So, but if failure has happened in something, then you are basically, if failure has happened, you have to get over it quickly and bounce back. Failure is not permanent. Unfortunately, success is also not permanent. So these are all, there is a poem by Kipling, Rudyard Kipling. If is the name of the poem, and I'll type it out here. So if you read that poem, it says, success and failure are both imposters. If by Rudyard Kipling, okay? Rudyard Kipling. Yeah. So he says that success and failure are imposters. They come and go. So failure will not last. Success will also not last. So you have to understand the ups and downs of life. Overcoming failure is possible by quickly getting onto a positive frame of mind, quickly getting onto the next phase of your life, and quickly going for the next activity. Physical fitness will help you also. If you go for a jog, if you go for cricket, go for badminton, you will find it easier to handle your mental setbacks, much easier, and have a conversation with someone. Yes, now we have many questions. Tell me the next one.
Well, the next one, sir, is of Navya Pandey. Sir, how to develop a habit of reading newspaper?
Reading newspapers is something which is important for competitions, plus it helps your GK. I would suggest that you read what you like. Whatever is of interest to you, read that. Don't read something which you find dull or boring, because to start with, you should read only that which you like. You'll develop a habit if you do that. And if you read, let's say, movies, entertainment section, sports, you read some people like to read the economic activities page or finance page. Some people like to read only editorial page. So read whatever you like, and gradually, bit by bit, you develop the habit. So read a little bit and don't spend 1 hour over it. Read a little bit every. We have many people who have raised their hands. You can ask them also, but quickly go to the next question.
Yes, sir. The next question is of Shubham Gupta. I feel stuck in my career as I try to upskill myself. Due to that, I have done overthinking and stress. Due to that, my approach has been negative and confidence is low. So, how do you boost your confidence on days when you feel low?
Yeah, when you're feeling low, it is normal, but you should bounce back the next day. Let's say today you're feeling low. Today you should be feeling happy, though I'm talking to you. So today you shouldn't be feeling low. Tomorrow I may not be talking to you, so you can feel low tomorrow. I'm joking, okay? I joke also. At times, humor is also important. So supposing you're feeling low on one day, the next day you have to bounce back with a positive attitude in the morning. You can't allow that previous day's problems to continue the next day. There was a couple I interviewed for my show. I have on my YouTube channel, which is by my name. You can follow me, Vivek Atray, on Instagram as well as YouTube. Same name is Vivek Atray. I interviewed an older couple and I asked them, do you fight at times with each other? They said, yeah, we fight at times, but then when we go to bed, we make up. Next day, we don't carry the fight the next day, carry on the fight. So similarly, a mood which is feeling low, the failure, the confidence is low, tomorrow it should not. So bouncing back from that low phase is the key. Feeling low is normal, but bouncing back is also normal. Why should you feel low for 1 week or 10 days or 1 month? No. One day you're feeling low, next day you're better. Next day you're even better. So try that. Yeah, next question.
Tushar, I have seen your hand raised. You can go ahead and ask your question.
But there are many others, like Kiran Kumari is saying the problem of knock knee. chance of rejection in the physical test of IPS? You'll have to go to the website of UPSC, Kiran, and just see if that what does the website say. You can also email UPSC's website. Email is there. Please email them and ask them clearly. They'll give you the correct answer. Pragati is saying, how do I manage my time? I'm currently in my first year, but I'm not able to manage my preparation of UPSC in college. So, Pragati, you're not the first one in the world who's facing that problem. Everybody faces the same problem. Everybody has their studies and their competition. In first year, you might find it a bit overwhelming. So, first you settle down. Okay? First semester, you settle down into your college life. Second semester onwards, you start a little bit. Work on your GK. And GK is something which you can work on even now. And once you come to the second year, then you can be more specific with your preparation. So that's the answer. I see a lot of questions, so I'll give quicker answers. Part 3 is saying, what were your strengths and weaknesses during preparation? So preparation, of course, I didn't crack the UPSC exam, but now I'm mentoring a lot of UPSC aspirants. So I can say the strengths are regularity. I came through the HCS to the IS. But the regularity that you have while preparing is very important. Regularity, consistency, loving your goal and passion for your goal. And weakness could be doubt, self-doubt. You don't have self-doubt. Don't doubt yourself. Okay, Rashmi is saying somebody in UG has 2 options, MBA and startup, had a call in mind for UPSC and is confused. Which part is good for considering? 20 not eligible to write. What would you suggest? Similar to his experience. So that's a very long question, Rashmi, well written. You get full marks for your words. But the point is that it is normal to be confused. It takes time to realize what is good for you. I would say if you have half a mind for UPSC, it is more than half a mind, then go for it 1 or 2 times. But don't try 6 times. All of you UPSC candidates, please listen to me. Do not attempt the exam 6 times. Don't do it. 2 times, 3 times, that's good enough. If you don't get through, it means you are far away from achieving it. Even if you may have got through in your 6th attempt, don't do it. 3 attempts, 2 attempts, 1 attempt, you will know where you stand. Who's this? I'll take the question myself to save time. Pragya is saying, how to start preparations from scratch, where should we start answer writing, etc. And well, I would say that you should start GK and you should not do newspapers in the beginning. You should prepare constant GK, which is not current affairs. Current affairs only of the last 2 years is relevant in the UPSC exam, 1 or 2 years. So please do everything else except current affairs to start. And then in the last 2 years, 1 year, you do current affairs, okay? Because then it is current. Otherwise, it is old. So study or improve your GK by taking interest in subjects which you never knew earlier. Little bit. What was your source of motivation? How to manage consistency? So Nandini, you have to love your goals. If you are passionate about your goal, you will be consistent. We are consistent only in that which we are crazy about. Okay? You watch yourself, supposing you love a Netflix show, you will watch it come what may. You will be very consistent in watching Netflix, right? So my examples are very practical examples. If you love that podcast or show, whatever it is, you will watch it. You have to be crazy like that for competition. Then you will be very consistent. So develop that craziness. Gauri is saying there are times when one thinks to achieve a lot, but how should you decide for the ultimate goal? Well, you should dream big, but you should be practical at the same time. Just like I said, Miss Universe for the boys, of course, this is. Miss Universe may be out of reach, but this is on the lighter side. Don't take it seriously. I'm trying to say that you wanted to be in the Indian cricket team. I wanted to be in the Indian cricket team. I'm wearing a BCCI shirt right now also for some reason. I don't know why they gave it. Anyway, the point is that I wanted to be an Indian cricketer, but I could not be. So now I'm talking to you about other things, but it remains a part of my life. So you have to understand that whatever goals you have, they should be practical and go for them step by step. Okay, Kashish is asking, is Is it beneficial for masters? Yeah, I think masters is a good idea because it is also your plan B and you're preparing for masters and the same subject should be there for UPSC. Then it is a good idea. Then you can go along with the masters and your masters will give you another boost in confidence because you're anyway getting a degree. Kiran Kumari is saying we should go for PhD or UPSC. I think PhD is a very high mountain to climb and PhD is very good. I really admire PhD because I'm not PhD. And I'm not even a postgraduate, by the way. I only did a postgraduate diploma in French, and I did engineering, and I've done some other things, of course, but that doesn't count. So, Kiran, you should go for PhD definitely, and if you find the time for UPSC, do that. If you're crazy about UPSC, then do that. Nandini is saying, can preparation SSC, UPSC? Yeah, because UPSC is a very big exam. So when you prepare for UPSC, then you are actually preparing for all the exams at the same time. So prepare for UPSC and also your GK and all is going to be useful elsewhere. Of course, you have to fine tune. Mega is asking what ideas should we struck is the wrong word, but anyway, what ideas should we strike every time to keep us going? So I think keeping going is a factor of being inspired from within. And within means that I have a role model, I have somebody to look up to, and I want to emulate that. Because that role model could be an IAS officer, could be PV Sindhu, could be Neeraj Chopra, could be Alia Bhatt, it could be anybody. And anybody who you look up to, your parents, your sister, your brother. So have that motivation, role model, and ideas will come to you. Whatever you love will come to you. That this is something I want to do. I want to start up, then I want to start up. Things are wrong, you are.
Yeah.
Next question. I can't read the question now because the phone is there now. Earlier on my laptop.
So
Please.
we have a question. How are bureaucrats different from defense officer? Similarly, how is UPSC interview different from SSB and other conduction?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Bureaucrats, human beings, and options of this and minuses. Those who crack the UPSC are obviously very intelligent people, no doubt. Yet they may have their drawbacks. I've seen officers who are very good and officers who are not so good. So human beings are there. And defense services, I've seen some outstanding officers. And they are selected through 5 days of continuous, selection. So it's very difficult at times. And second part was what? Just read the second part.
Similarly, how is UPSC interview different from SSB other than conduction?
Yeah, it's a slightly more broad-based interview, I would say. And the level of the people who are asking questions is also very high in both, of course. It's just that UPSC is considered to be the paramount competition of India. So otherwise, the interview preparation has to be similar. Okay, next.
Ritu Singh, sir, अभी आपने योगी परमहंस की बुक शो की थी. Please share some interesting thing from there.
So Yogananda said, "Be calmly active and actively calm." कितना बढ़िया quote है. अब इसको याद रख लो. Be calmly active and actively calm, which means that you have to work on your calmness, and by becoming your confidence will grow. If you read any books, it will improve, your expression will improve. Plus, I think fiction gives you joy and it gives you imagination. And Rashmi Verma is saying that they are calming, right? So she's right. So fiction is great. I think your friends are well-meaning, but they just say it lightly and you take it seriously. Don't too seriously, okay? You live down the road, all you youngs must say तुम पे नहीं हो, तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं होगा. आंटी छू गई और आप जाके सोच रहे हो आंटी ने ऐसा क्यों बोला. So that is not good. Don't go too much by what people think. I also used to be guilty of that. I used My coach saying, don't ski what you.
I am reading Rabindranath Tagore since I was back.
So you nation. And Rashmi Verma is saying that they are calming, right? So she's right. So fiction is great. I think your friends are well-meaning, but they just say it lightly, and you take it seriously. Don't
Well,
too seriously. Okay. You live down the road, all you youngs must say तुमसे नहीं हो तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं होगा आंटी छू गई और आप जाके सोच रहे हो आंटी ने ऐसा क्यों बोला. So that is not good. Don't go too much by what people think. I also used to be guilty of that. I used my coach saying, don't ski what you.
I am reading Rabindranath Tagore since I was back.
So you are wrong. You are.
Yeah.
Next
True.
question. I can't read the question now because the phone is there now. Earlier it was on my laptop.
So
Please.
we have a question. How are bureaucrats different from defense officer? Similarly, how is UPSC interview different from SSB and other conduction?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Bureaucrats, human beings, and options of pluses and minuses. Those who crack the UPSC are obviously very intelligent people, no doubt. Yet they may have their drawbacks. I've seen officers who are very good and officers who are not so good. So human beings are there. And defense services, I've seen some outstanding officers. And they are selected through 5 days of continuous, selection. So it's very difficult at times. And second part was what? Just read the second part.
Similarly, how is UPSC interview different from SSP other than conduction?
Yeah, it's a slightly more broad-based interview, I would say. And the level of the people who are asking questions is also very high in both, of course. It's just that UPSC is considered to be the paramount competition of India. So otherwise, the interview preparation has to be similar. Okay, next.
रितु सिंह सर अभी आपने योगी परमहंस की बुक शो की थी प्लीज शेयर सम इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग फ्रॉम देयर.
So young Yogananda said, "Be calmly active and actively calm." कितना बढ़िया कोट है. अब इसको याद रख लो. Be calmly active and actively calm, which means that you have to work on your calmness. And by becoming calm, you will win the battle of life. If you are restless, worried, scared, and angry, you cannot win the battle. So he said that. He also said, everything can wait, but your search for God cannot wait. So spiritual meditation is also very important. Next question.
So how can we deal with peer pressure when friends around you are already far ahead of you having different plans? How can we stay focused? This is a question from Nandini.
Yeah, staying focused is the key, and staying focused, as I said, comes from passion, comes from being driven towards a particular goal. It also comes from being consistent, by being regular, by managing your time. And I think it's very important for you to be prioritizing. So cut out those things which are not required. Over long conversations are good, but a half an hour conversation is better than a 1.5 hour conversation. You can't have, that kind of thing at times. I see a lot of questions. We may not be able to take all of them. Why don't you send me these on WhatsApp and I'll answer them? Everybody is also welcome to ask me on Instagram. You can all follow me on Instagram so that I have 100 new followers today. Okay. And then you can send me the questions on Instagram. One or two more I can take. Read out one or two.
Right, sir. So I also wanted to ask you, like people around me, my peers, my friends, they have been doing great work in their career. Like one of them is settled abroad, another one of them knows what to do in their career further. Whereas I, on the other hand, I'm clueless very much. I have no idea of what to do further. You are very much clueless in your life when you don't know what you are supposed
So,
to
you
do.
know, the clueless one might win the battle of life. You never know. The people who think that they know everything, they may not. So it is basically, it's a long race. It's a long journey. Life is a long journey. You may be clueless now, but you may find your calling. So all of us are clueless in the beginning, and being clueless is normal. If somebody has found his decision, it doesn't mean that he's successful yet. It's a long, long journey. So back yourself and you will find your choice. I see Sneha asking how to try to be punctual. I think punctuality also comes from a little bit of passion. You want to be there on time, then you'll be on time. Just by being scared of something, you will not be there on. So there's something about elections also. What is that?
Uh, well, actually, Kinjal is going to take over the lead now. Over to you, Kinjal. I hope you are able to see the questions now.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, Kinjal, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, we have a question from Tushar. With respect to national elections, what are the factors a young lad should keep in mind, the international policies or the domestic?
Yeah, domestic policies are very important because they affect the grassroots. I've been an IAS officer. I've met dealt with politicians. They have to be focused on the people of India. And international policies are important because they affect the country. They affect the economy. They affect the trade. They affect the prosperity. They affect the peace. So both are important. But if you ask for one, then domestic policies are more important. Okay.
Okay, sir. So, we
Mm,
also have another meeting joined simultaneously. So, we have questions in that as well. So, I
Go
can
ahead
ask.
quickly. You ask quick question now, rapid fire because we're running out of time. But rapid fire, I'll do. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, we have a question from Shakti. How to choose effective optional?
Optional should be something you love. Don't choose it because everybody else is choosing it. It should be something you are comfortable with. Next question.
Next question is from Janvi. How do we make career decision right after college when we don't have much clarity? What exactly do we wish to do?
See, it's impossible to find your final calling, and you should take whatever decision is best possible for you. After 5 years, you may not, supposing you join a private job, and then after 5 years, you want to start up. It's okay. You join a government job and you want to resign after 5 years, that's also okay. You won't want to resign, that's a different matter because you'll be very comfortable. But it is better to take a decision than to keep thinking if I've taken the right decision, wrong decision. Take that decision, go for it. Next.
Another question we have from Lusai. How do you continue to grow and learn in your profession?
I think that's a very good question. You get the question of the day award. I'll send you a chocolate later. The point is that you have to keep learning, and that quest for learning has to be there. And Alvin Toffler said, the winners of this century are not, rather the illiterate of this century are not those who can't read and write, but those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. So be ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay, next.
Next question we have from Maroon. How to beat yourself?
How to
Beat yourself.
beat
Our
yourself.
concept.
Beat yourself as in beat yourself with a stick, or how beat yourself means in competition. I'm joking, I'm joking. So beating your own best is very important. You did your best last time, this time you want to do even better. You will work hard and you'll do it. Next.
Next question we have from Nancy. Sir, recently an IS officer became a monk and left everything. So please show us the middle path so that we can become our best self.
I wish I had also become a monk. Good one. So I'll tell you a story about that some other day. Today we don't have time. But I think the middle path is to be in the world and do your job and look after your family, have your career, but you should meditate morning, evening. That is the balance path. You should think of God all the time, thank Him. That is the balance path. You can't sit under a tree and meditate all your life because that's not practical. So you get the answer now. Next question.
So next question we have. Sir, how to attain internal confidence you recently
I'm very
talked
glad
about?
all these questions have come. I'll take this last one, and the next, all the other questions can be sent to me on Instagram. I will answer them writing back. So all of you who have asked questions, It's nice to meet you. Sorry, I forgot this question. Just read it.
How to attain internal confidence you recently talked about.
I think it's very difficult. We are human. We will feel low at times. We will feel worried at times. But we can improve. And there's certain things we should not feel low about. I think it's wonderful if you can just keep on improving yourself gradually. Thank you for all the warm questions. I have to leave now. And thank you, Dhriti, for organizing this. I see a lot of loving, sweet emojis coming out. And thank you for those. I think you are all good. You asked very good questions. I think we should be in touch. And lastly, I would like to say that success is in the mind. So find that success within, not outside. Okay? You can understand what that means. All the best. Thank you. May I leave?
Over to you, Rashi.
Rashi.
Just a second.
Rashi, you are on mute. I'm so sorry. We request everyone to switch on your camera for just one picture before Sir leave.
Now we have only 46 others left. Anyway.
I hope you all look lovely today for just one picture, everyone.
Smile. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you all. All the best. Keep in touch.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your motivating words. As we come to an end to this memorable event, it's time to express a heartfelt gratitude. First of all, before the vote of thanks, I'll say you guys really asked great questions. It was really an interactive session. So, thank you to everyone. A round of applause for everyone. Guys, we can give a collective clap. First and foremost, I would like to thank our founders, Devanshi and Sumitra, for their vision, dedication, and hard work in bringing Dhriti to life. Your passion for making a difference in education has truly inspired us all. Tushar, Kinjal, and all the members at Dhriti, your efforts have been invaluable in making this session a success. Well, of course, Vivek sir is not right here, but still, his words have touched the hearts of the audience. And a special thank you to him as well. You all can follow him on Instagram and let your questions flow in there. Since I can see there are a few questions in the chat which were not answered. I'm so sorry for that. We are also very grateful to the Civil Services Forum of Kamla Nehru College, University of Delhi. The support the team gave us means the world. Lastly, a big thank you to the audience for being a part of this lovely launch. Showing your enthusiasm means very much to us. We look forward to seeing how Dhriti will empower each one of you on your learning journey. Thank you once again, and big round of applause for everyone present here for the future of Dhriti, guys. Congratulations again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Molly. I hope you enjoyed. If you guys have any feedback for us, you can leave it in the chat box.